Did Anthony Bourdain take his own life? Or is there more to the story? Some people say that Anthony Bourdain had information about human trafficking and some of the big players in that. Let's look into that. Welcome to Trevor's Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality. First, a huge thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to everybody who likes, watches, comments on the videos. Huge thank you. Okay, so several months ago, somebody brought this to my attention about Anthony Bourdain perhaps having information about human trafficking. And by human, I mean little humans. And then a friend today sent me an email along the same lines. I thought, well, maybe I should throw some cards on it. I had meditated on it in the past. Um, and it feels like there's more to the story, but let's just kind of see. So let's just start first with the the big question. Did Anthony Bourdain actually take his own life? Did he choose to leave? Also, another fairly high profile death of somebody taking their own life, Kate Spade, around this time. And I felt like there might have been some sort of connection there too, not a personal connection, but like a link of sorts. But I don't know that there is. Well, the card fell out. So the Chariot card is my card. If you've watched my other channel, which is Scrying Out Loud, you know the Chariot card is the card that represents trafficking, human trafficking. So that's pretty interesting that that fell out. We get the Ace of Pentacles, something around money, some sort of new financial reality. We get the Seven of Pentacles, waiting to harvest something, waiting to collect in the here and or in the environment around. Moving away from troubled waters, the Six of Swords. I'm just going to set that over there. You get the Magician card in the environment around. So some dark, manifesting, foreboding type energies. At the center of the reading, we get the Star card of Hope. Keep going. We get the Knight of Swords, quick to battle. It was almost as if his death was super impulsive. We get the Queen of Wands, passion, leadership. We get ill health in the environment around. And we get the King of Wands. Again, more passion. So it's like some sort of new financial reality led to some hopeful feelings about the passions he was pursuing. So at the time, he was very much involved in traveling the world and making documentaries and films about food. And his passions gave him hope, and he felt like his life was on the right track. Sure doesn't sound like somebody that would choose to exit early. But there's some dark energy going on behind the scenes. And there's this card, this is interesting, the Seven of Pentacles. It's like waiting to collect, waiting to harvest the pentacles from the tree. there's ill health in the environment around, but I don't think this is Anthony Bourdain's health. I think this is the an underlying sickness, if you wish, of society involving trafficking that he found very disturbing. I think he had some information on it. And I think he was getting ready to make a decision on what to do about it. Yeah, underneath we have a message getting delivered, but it's getting delivered slowly, right? The Knight of Pentacles is the slow moving knight. The King of Cups, some very emotional stuff going on, things behind the scenes that people didn't know about, particularly people that elect people. Sometimes it's my card for the voters. A lot of deceit and deception, misdirection. Um, it's like his suicide, or it's like his moving to the next world, let's put it that way, was meant as a misdirection. It was meant to change the topic with the truth, the Ace of Swords. And the truth is dangerous because the truth can lead to confinement, lead to some sort of legal jeopardy. If the sun shines its light on everything and everything becomes known, there'll be judgment, and the world as we know it will come to that cycle will come to an end. And we have the courts involved as well. So, or the church or the Pope. And, that kind of makes a lot of sense. So let's just, I think the Chariot card really kind of tells the story that he probably didn't take his own life. So let's just ask, did Anthony Bourdain have information about powerful people with respect to human trafficking? And by human trafficking, we mean little humans. It's like he discovered something years before his death when he was traveling. Like he ran into somebody he wasn't supposed to see. Feels like it was in Southeast Asia, Thailand, maybe. Be Indonesia. It's, I've seen an image of like he's in a hotel, not like the best hotel in the world, but not the worst hotel in the world. And like he bumps into like a really famous person whose name I'm not going to say right now, but I'll let you think about that. And it's not a current leader of the world. Um, and it's like just very uncomfortable feeling. It's like he like instantly knew something was wrong. I think he had seen this particular person with Jeffrey Epstein at one time, like from a distance, just in New York, like observed them together. That's what's flashing through my head, as if that's what flashed through his head. Because he knew he was in kind of a seedier part of the world, but was wanting to explore the local culture. Yeah. All right, let's let's see what the cards say. I think he had suspicions. Yeah, the Ten of Swords, complete and utter down. It's almost as if in this moment he feared for his safety because there wasn't supposed to be anybody else in this location that would recognize high-powered people that weren't dressed in, I mean, they were dressed casually, so they weren't dressed that way. Wow. Okay. So in the environment around, we get the King of Pentacles, the rich man. This is often my card for the current president of the United States. We get strength in the upper right. Get the card for the greedy merchant, selfishness, the Nine of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles is at the center of the reading. This is, like this imagery reminds me of kind of a protective, meditative state where all things are being seen. Choices in the environment around the Two Swords. Can't keep there. Yeah. So we get the motorcycle speeding away, right? Can't keep up with it. I think that's our symbolism for trafficking as well. Um, I think he felt very helpless. Like I think he knew there wasn't anything he could do. Yeah, it was agony, it was anguish almost. The Three of Swords. He knew something was very seriously wrong. This feels like it was maybe 10 years prior to him passing. Let me get the Empress card, the card for the mother. And here, the mother, well, in all the Empress cards, the Empress is supposed to represent a female that is about to give birth. So it's like he instantly realized that there was something wrong with the scene and that uh, young women and their children in particular were being exploited. And these would be people that were on the lower part of the socioeconomic scale. And I'm seeing like Southeast Asia, like a slummy type. Well, in the United States, we call it like a slummy type neighborhood where like the houses are almost like cardboard boxes. I mean, we're talking about like um, a neighborhood that's super poor. I don't know if this is like, it doesn't feel like Thailand. It feels more like maybe the Cambodia, Burma, Myanmar area, like somewhere in there. And he knew that he was never going to be able to chase down and do anything about the fact that this was happening. And so he was quite reflective about it. And he was hoping for strength. And maybe he was kind of building up to that point towards the end. We have the King of Pentacles, or the card for the current president of the United States. We also have the greedy merchant, people willing to take things that aren't theirs, willing to cause heartache in the environment around. I think this was also Anthony Bourdain's emotion at the time. I don't know what he saw. I don't know if he saw something more graphic than just a person that could be. Um, and then he had to make some decisions. Yeah, underneath the confinement, like he felt trapped, like he almost felt like his life was, you know, gonna be watched forever and ever and ever to see. I think he feared for his life too. Yeah, passion, lots of anxiety, the Nine of Swords, and guardrails failing, bombshells and surprises. And again, this magician energy of bringing things to bear that probably shouldn't be there, manifesting unhealthy situations. This isn't Bourdain manifesting them. This is the greedy merchant and other powerful people for entertainment purposes only. So, yeah, I think he knew about some rings of trafficking. I don't think that he took his own life. So let's just ask the question, was he going to expose this? Was he planning on exposing this? Planning on exposing this. See the Five of Cups in the water. It's about loss. But here I think it's like at a loss for what to do, knowing it wasn't safe to expose for his personal safety, but thinking about something bigger than himself. So see the Hierophant. Expose something that was going on. Yeah, he's gonna be a new beginning. He's gonna let go of this baggage. Things were gonna come to the surface, things were gonna come out with the Moon card. Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles involved very wealthy people, ending their reign, so to speak. The tens are all about ending, like this is the inheritance card, but um, threatening their wealth and security and status. Wow. Justice in the environment around. I think he very much was after some sort of justice, but he ran into a situation where he couldn't defend himself with the Seven of Wands. Have the Queen of Wands in the environment around. This reminds me of Jillian Maxwell. Partnerships, guardrails. He couldn't figure out a way to keep himself safe. I think he knew he was in danger. We get the greedy merchant again. So his new beginning required him to defend himself against against the greedy merchant, and he was unsuccessful because of the person that he met. or people. And it feels like Cambodia, Myanmar, Burma, some maybe even Bhutan, somewhere in that area of the world. He had to defend himself against that knowledge, but he was trying to defend himself against very rich people with lots of resources. But he was interested in exposing the truth with the moon card and bringing about justice and helping to put up guardrails to keep people safe from people like Jeffrey Epstein and his um, Ghislaine Maxwell. Wow. Underneath, we get the King of Pentacles again. That's the card for the President of the United States. Uh, the Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning financially. And the bad guys won. Victory. They got away with the deceit, the trickery, the thievery, getting away with things they shouldn't get away with. They were the victor, and Bourdain is in the back, wounded in battle. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I've thought that for a while. I kind of avoid reading on those topics because they're kind of a little uncomfortable. But did he take his own life? If he did, I think he was forced to, if that makes sense. Like it, it was like he knew there was no other choice. But I don't think so. Did he have information about human trafficking? I think so. The chariot card flew out right at the beginning of the reading. Um, was he going to expose what he knew? I think it had weighed on him for many years, what he knew. And I think he knew that he couldn't expose it safely, but I think he was constantly being watched. So, anyhow, lots of sad stories involved in that one. So, yeah, anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.